Not this far from you. Go ahead.
There's no,
I'm rolling.
there's no, other mic for it anyway.
I know.
Alright, hello everybody. My name is Jay. I'm here to answer a few questions for everybody about what they ask me when they buy a Chameleon. What's the general way to get started with Chameleons? How do I take care of it? I'm just going to give you the quick, what will get you started and sustain you and keep you and your Chameleon very happy. First off, when you first buy your Chameleon, select the right size cage. Obviously, if you're buying a baby from me, which is most people do, if it's at a show, most likely I'll sell you the whole setup and the lights. If you're just getting the lights at your house, you know, somewhere, if I send it to you in another state and you have to go shopping, I'm going to show you what to get. Alright, most people get roped into buying those coil spiral bulbs. I don't have one here because I don't use them. But they're spiral bulbs, and they're coiled, and they're, you know, called fluorescents that are screw-in bulbs. Those are the worst things you can do for your Chameleon. They don't give off enough UVB. It's a sham. Most high-end pet stores like Petco or whatever chain you have in your area will tell you that you need to, you know, you can use this with a heat bulb and a night bulb and a this and a that. If your house doesn't go below 65 degrees, you don't need a nighttime heat bulb. Unless your Chameleon looks at you and says, hey, can you turn the heat up in here? And then when that time comes, call me, because I'll come to your house and I'll buy your Chameleon off you. Name your price. To get started, the first thing that you're going to go into with lighting, obviously cage size, you know, the person selling you would use your best judgment. This is an 18 by 18 by 36. This fixture up here is for a linear UVB bulb. As you can see here, it's an 18-inch linear UVB bulb. This will give max compact. They'll say it'll go, you know, as deep as a foot. You're only getting 6 to 8 inches. And with that in mind, with the 6 to 8 inches, you make sure that you have branches in here that he can be in that 6 to 8 inches up top and absorb that light. Now, this is a standard aquarium fixture, and that's an 18-inch. What I had in there right now, unfortunately, because I wasn't able to order it, because I do big orders of Arcadia bulbs, this was the get you by, Zoom Ed, okay? You could use a Zoom Ed bulb, it'll get you by. I do not recommend them because their quality is inferior. However, I do recommend Arcadia bulbs. As you can see, I'm a big fan and supporter of Arcadia. I sell Arcadia. I use only Arcadia unless I'm in a pinch, which in this case with this oddball cage, because all my other fixtures are 4-footers, this was, you know, an oddball number of the cage, so I had to use a different size. I had to go with a Zoom Ed bulb. Either way, they'll both get you by. So that there is what's going to be providing UVB. In another video I'll get into it, what UVB is and all that stuff, but right now this is just to show you what to get. So when people ask me, what can I get now? You're going to need a basking spot for the Chameleon, again, depending on what kind of Chameleon it is. You can get a dome like this, or a bigger dome. If it's a cage that's half the size of this, 16 by 16 by 20, smaller dome with a 50-watt bulb is fine. This particular spot here, he's got a high enough thing to reach this, so I do, even though it's an 18 by 18 by 36, this is only a 50-watt, and here's the trick that I do here, okay? On my 4-foot fixtures, which you can see over here, 4-foot shop light fixtures come with 2 spots for a 4-foot bulb. I'll put a 48-inch Philips natural light bulb in there, which is kind of like a plant light, but this gives like natural. It's more of a full spectrum sun bulb. They're inexpensive. They're cheap. This, I don't care what anybody says that Chameleons only need UVB for this, that, and blah, blah, blah. You'll run into eye issues. I've seen it happen, and all of my Chameleons that used to have eye problems years ago came full circle when I started using these bulbs. No more eye problems because they're just not getting that full spectrum. So if you don't have, like what I have, 4-footers, and you have an 18-inch, and you have to, you know, and you don't have a double on this, you know, this is only a single linear fixture, not a double, and you need heat as well, to save on money and time, you get yourself a Philips plant bulb indoor-outdoor floodlight, okay, 50 watt, which you can see in here, alright, and this thing will provide you heat, and it'll provide you that full spectrum of light that I was talking about that you can get from the other ones. Otherwise, if you have the 4-footer fixtures and you're using doubles, just go with an indoor-outdoor floodlight. You can go up to about, depending on the size of the cage, you can go between 70 or 100 watts. Obviously, the bigger cages use 100 watts, and that's pretty much it. That's all you're really ever going to need. So that covers what you need for lighting. The interiors of the cage we'll go into in another video. The other most important thing you have to have, okay? Supplementation, lighting, and hydration are the most important things for the chameleons. All right? What you feed to them is what they're gonna, what they're gonna do. How they're gonna react to what you feed them is, I don't know, how they're gonna fucking react. They're not gonna react to anything. You fucking feed them bad shit, you're gonna have problems. So just feed them fucking good shit, you know? I'm not gonna come out here like a professor and try to fascinate you with my knowledge. I'm just gonna tell you what works. Alright, this is Repashy Bug Burger, okay? Repashy Bug Burger is something you make like a pancake. You add powder to water, which is the powder in here. You add the water, you mix it up like a pancake, you cook it on the stove. You cook it for like 3 minutes, it boils up, you let it cool, it turns into a patty. And then you take that little patty and you break it off depending on if you have a full cricket bin. Use your better judgment, it's just little crickets eating it. So you don't need, if you have like 100 crickets, in a small piece. But if you look in here, you can see on the bottom, under there's the Repashy Bug Burger, and these fuckers have been eating it for the past 2 days. This provides your cricket bin with water, hydration, and food. So these crickets won't die off on you. I don't ever have any crickets die off when I use Repashy Bug Burger. It works amazingly. It saves a whole lot of bullshit with cutting up fruits and this and that. It gives them a great, gut load, a great spectrum of vitamins and nutrients inside the bugs that you're going to be feeding to your chameleons. Vitamin and supplementation schedule. I am only speaking right now for panthers, veils. Panthers and veils are what I'm only speaking for right now. It's not much different from other species. Montanes, there's a big difference, but here's how it works. Every feeding, which when you're feeding full-grown chameleons, should be every other day, 10 to 12 crickets. Every other day. If they're younger, every day, 10 crickets. Every feeding, you give them calcium without D3, okay? It's called calcium without D3. This is what they need. And on the 1st and the 15th of the month, I use this because it has vitamin A along with D3. Again, the vitamin A helps with the eye infections. This is the problem I spoke about with the lighting before. You give them this on the 1st and the 15th of the month. So instead of using that calcium, you give them Zoomed Reptivite with D3 on the 1st and the 15th of the month. If you stick to this schedule, hydrate your chameleons properly, light them properly, feed the insects properly, obviously alternate your insects. But this video is just to answer the questions the immediate questions that come from people. What do I need? What should I buy? If I'm buying a chameleon, what do I gotta get? This video is just to answer those questions. If I decide to make another video, I'll get into more details with you about it. I'm just tired of texting people over the phone all the time to try and explain to them what to get, and then I tell them to call me, and they're like, I can't talk on the phone anymore because I don't know how, because all I've been doing for my entire life is texting. That's all I know how to do, and my communication skills are horrible. So, yeah, again, this is so you guys can understand what needs to be done properly. If there's any questions, my email is jaysick, jaysick@gmail.com. Feel free, anybody, I don't care who you are, if you never met me, or if you have not even bought a chameleon from me, or whatever it may be, please feel free to hit me up and ask me for any questions. I'll give whatever knowledge I can help you with, and if there's something I can do for you to help you, I'll do the same. I just want to see these chameleons that people own have good homes and have them last, and not hear horror stories about people killing their chameleons, giving them metabolic bone disease, mutating them, yada, 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 yada. Alright, once again, guys, thank you very much, and enjoy your day.